Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the top 3 systems that need to be changed in Maplestory Reboot. So these 3 systems are a massive part in the game, and I think collectively the player base in general has the same thoughts about all 3 of these systems. In no particular order, we are going to be going over Oz, familiars, and nodes. I'm going to be explaining what these systems are, why they are extremely bad, and ways that they could be changed for the better. Now, these systems have been complained about for months and months and months. We haven't really heard any information on changes for these systems, but it's something that is still very relevant within the community and something that players talk about on a day-to-day basis. We're going to start off with Oz as number 1. I personally think this is the top 1 worst system in this game and definitely needs to be changed sooner than later, if not just completely removed from the game. Now, if you're not familiar with Oz, you're probably wondering, why is this system bad? Oz is a RNG based system that takes 45 minutes to 1 hour to complete. You're able to run Oz 5 times a day. In each run you get a box, a rank 1 box or a rank 2 box, depending on what floor you clear up to. Now, this Oz box can give multiple different rings, but the main ring that people usually try to go for is called the Ring of Restraint 4 and a Weapon Jump 4. The odds of getting these rings are extremely low, and there's no other way of getting these rings besides running a run of Oz and praying that the single box gives you the ring. A lot of players, myself included, have ran Oz for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours and still are left with nothing to show for it. The reason why Oz is bad is because there is no sense of progression. You're never getting closer to your goal. It's just hoping that you get lucky. You don't reach a checkpoint, and at that checkpoint you get the ring that you're looking for. It's all based on what you get out of this box. Not only does this box take a long time to get, but it also can give a bunch of junk rings that are not useful whatsoever. It also can give Oz pouches and 2 times EXP, which obviously if you're running this run for a full hour, that is something that you do not want to get. This takes way too much time. It's an extremely long process. I could go on for hours on why this system is bad, but overall it just takes way too long, about 5 hours per day if you cap the runs, and it's just way too RNG based. Now, how could Maplestory fix this system? Me personally, I think Oz is a fine system in reg server because you have the option to either buy the ring from the auction house or go run and hope that you get lucky. There's some other option, but in Reboot you only can get the ring from hitting it out of the box. Now, how should Maplestory fix this system? Adding these rings in a shop in Reboot and allowing players to buy these rings with Oz points is something that definitely needs to be added to this system, or something that would just make the system so much better. Even if it's 10 million points for a Roar 4, at least you have some sort of progression and something to work towards. I also think that you should be able to buy these rings with money, just like every other system in the game. I'm not sure why in Reboot and reg server Oz is the one thing that you can't buy with money or Oz points. Like, there is no way out in Reboot besides running it. Again, like, this just it takes way too long. I could go on for hours and hours and hours of how bad this system is, because I genuinely was in this system for hundreds and hundreds of hours. But making these rings buyable with either money or Oz points is an easy fix. At least at some point you know that you're not going to be stuck in this tower forever. You know at one point you are going to be done, as long as it might take. You know at one point you're going to be able to buy the ring. Have some sense of progression involved with Oz. It's so mind-numbing to have to run a run for 1 hour after running it already hundreds of times, hoping that that one box is going to hit. I think making the runs 10 to 15 minutes long instead of an hour, I know a lot of people think that's OP, but if it's only 10 to 15 minutes, that's still a good amount of time that you're doing every single day. That's an hour compared to 5 hours of capping. A ring checklist, you hit a ring and you don't hit that same ring again. I think this is a really good system in Reboot. Even if you keep Oz the same, you know that at least you hit this ring and you can check it off the list. You don't have to hope that you don't hit the same ring again. I think some sort of fusing system could be really good for Oz. You fuse a level 1 roar with the level 3 roar and it makes a roar 4 or something like that. I don't know, it's just something that I've heard people talk about. And additionally, with these changes, you should be able to extract the rings for something. I'm not sure why in Reboot you just get these rings and then you just drop them. Like, it's essentially an hour wasted every single time you run a run that you don't get a roar for or a weapon jump for. The system is just so bad in Reboot. Either remove the system in Reboot or completely change it. Like, it just does not make sense. So moving on from Oz, we now have the familiar system. Again, this is something that everybody in Reboot talks about. This is something people have talked about for months and months and months. We haven't really heard anything about the familiar system change. So what is the familiar system and why is it bad? It is once again a extremely RNG based system in the game. In Reg server, you have the option to buy red cards, which you can, it's like a red cube for familiars, but in Reboot, you have to level up a familiar to level 5, and then you have to fuse 100 familiars into a single fam that is level 5 for the chance of it tearing up. Now, these tier up rates, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think tearing up from rare to epic is 80%, and then epic to unique is a 30% tier up rate. I could be wrong on those numbers. Again, if I'm wrong, just let me know. But essentially, it takes about 2 hours to get a single unique familiar and 2 hours to get 5 epic familiars. You can imagine how long this takes. I've known some people who have sat in Limina from level 260 to 275 with no EXP multipliers and still have 0 boss familiars. At some point, enough is enough. Like, it just takes way too long, especially for the people who are unlucky. And the issue with all of these systems overall is just the variance are so high. Some people get super lucky, and then there's other people who are just on the far side that take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. An easy fix to this system would be adding red cards in the cash shop, buyable for miso, or at bare minimum add red cards to the reward shop in place of totems. At this point in the game, the reward shop is honestly so useless. There's nothing to buy, and essentially it's just expiring points every single month. Another insanely easy fix would be to make familiars drop Insurnium. There's no reason why you should be punished in this game for progressing. It genuinely does not make sense to me why the further you progress, the less materials you get. It's truly such a confusing concept. Like, I don't understand why familiars only drop in certain maps, but nonetheless, those are the fixes that I have for familiars. If you guys have anything, obviously leave your suggestions in the comments down below. But third on the list, we have nodestones. This is also something that a lot of people talk about. Me personally, I don't think nodestones are that bad, but I know for early game, nodes are extremely hard to obtain. Once you get more established in this game, nodes are okay because you have your drop gear, but early on, it is extremely hard for newer players to progress. For some new players, if they have no drop gear, they get like 1 to 5 nodes every 2 hours, which it's just way too low. I think a couple of fixes for this system is to make nodes buyable, maybe cap it out per week. You can only buy 50 nodes. Make the weekly quests give more nodes, or at least dailies giving nodes, something like that, especially just for newer players. And then I also think that allowing bosses to drop node stacks could be a really cool alternative. It has the option to drop 1 node, 5 nodes, 10 nodes, 20 nodes. Obviously 20 nodes is like on the extremely low. It's like on the same rate as pitch boss or something, but at least you have that option to get nodes as well. Those are my top 3 systems that I think need to be fixed in Maplestory Reboot. If you guys have any other systems or anything that you guys want to talk about, feel free to leave them down in the comment sections below. All of these systems made sense the way they were when they were added to the game because they were new, but it's been years now with little to no change, and the game has progressed so much. I think these systems need to progress with the game as well. I hope I didn't leave anything out. If I did, once again, feel free to leave some discussion in the comment sections below. But this was my top 3 systems that need to be changed in Maplestory Reboot. That's going to be it for today's video. It was a little different one. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.